Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. So here today I'll be showing you how to draft a bodice block pattern. So I'm going to use the Natalie Gray's method of drafting pattern because to me I feel it's one of the best so far. So it's not hard to draft. I just want you to calm down and follow along. There are some measurements that you will need for this pattern, which I'm going to itemize them in the video because I don't want this video to be too lengthy. So in case you don't know how to take your bodice measurement, you can check my video out and use it to learn how to draft. So here now I have created a border. When you're creating a border, it doesn't really require measurement. You can use ½ inch, 1 inch, depending on anything at all, just to create a border. So this top line here, this border line here, I call it the top line. So now I want to start with the back bodice. So everything will start from point O. So depending on your bust measurement, point O is not constant, but for my own measurement that I want to use, my own point O is 2.5 centimeters. So there's a table here which I'm going to include in the video. With this table you use your bust measurement in centimeters to find your point O. So for this size that I'm using, the point O is 2.5 centimeters. So let's continue. You understand, don't worry. So because I'm drafting half a scale, everything I'll be dividing it by 2. So that 2.5 cm now will be 1.25. so don't worry, draft with your full scale. So if it was full scale now, it would have been 2.5 cm. So everything starts from this point O. So from this point O here, you measure down your bust length. All right, your bust length is the same thing as your armhole level, arm sky, arm level, anything. So you mark it down like this. From this same point O, you mark down your nape to waist. Example, your back half length. Your nape, in my video you understand what I mean by nape to waist measurement. All right, along your center back there's a bone at the back of your neck. You place your tape there and you measure it to your waist at the back. So the measurement is what you put at this O to your waist measurement. So I've done that already for my own. So from my waist to my hip is 22 centimeters. Yours can be 20, can be more, so I don't know. So these lines you have to square it across. Now let me say this, for this pattern it's not compulsory for the front and the back bodies to be on the same sheet. You can decide to draft it on a separate sheet, doesn't matter, but the most important thing is that the two should not jam together, should not crash on it, overlap on each other. There is a formula for that. You don't want the two to meet in case you're drafting together. You just do your half bust plus 5 cm or your half hip plus 3 cm. Whichever one is the biggest is what you use for your paper span. So with that method you'll be sure that the two will never meet each other. So let's proceed. So now the next thing you want to do is for you to impute your neckline measurement, your neck width. So now I want to square this line. Here was 1.25, so 1.25, and you square it because I want to impute my neck width measurement. It's still on that measurement table, you don't need to measure it. All right, so the one I'm using is 6.5 cm. So because I'm doing half scale, I'm dividing it by 2. So that gives me 3.25. Alright, so I'm going to square that measurement up. It's not hard for me to do full scale, but my camera might not be able to pick it up. So the next measurement from this point O is my shoulder measurement, which is 3 cm. Is constant for everybody. This one is a constant measurement for everybody. Alright, so you square it across 3 cm. You square it across, but not to the end of the paper though, just quarter way. So the next measurement, still from point O, I told you everything will start from point O. Still from point O, we have to indicate our back measurement. Our back, first of all, we're going to like take from point O to our arm sky level, the midpoint of it. For here, and I have 11 points. I have almost 12, so I'll round it up to 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So this place now is where I'm going to indicate my back measurement. Okay, so I'm squaring across now. Okay, that represents my back. This is the formula. Back, this one is the shoulder, and this one is the neck width. So here now I'll call it the bust line. Okay, so let me be writing it down so that it will be clear to us. So now our back width, you know how to measure your back width. If you don't know, check out my video. So the back width I am using today is 18.5 cm. Half of it is 9.25. So because you know we are working with quarter in our body, when I say your back measurement, my own back measurement is, my own back width measurement is 18.5. so I'm working with half back, so I'll use half of that measurement, which is 9.25. 9.25. Don't get confused, it's easy. So this measurement now, you have to square it down to the bust line, or you call it the armhole line. You have to square it to the shoulder line, and you square it down to the bust line. So from this bust line here, there is something called backup. Let me show you. So there is something called backup. Here it is. So for the measurement I'm using, the backup here is 5 centimeters. So yours can be 6, can be 7, depending on your measurements. So I'm using 5 cm here. As you know, I'm doing half scale, so it's going to be 2.5. So now I want to draw in my armhole curve. So before I do that, I am going to draw the neckline curve. Okay, this is what I'm doing now. I'm drawing in the neckline. So this is the neckline. So from the neckline here, from this shoulder line here, you have to come out by either 1 cm or 2 cm, depending. So I'm coming out by 1 cm. So from that point, you have to connect it to the neckline. Okay, you have to connect it back to the neckline. If by the time you measure it, because by the time you measure it, you're supposed to have your shoulder measurement plus a little extra for that. So if by the time you measure it you are not having any extra, that means you have to extend this. If like now I use 1 cm, you cannot extend it to 2 cm. So for now, let me see what I have. I have, first of all, my shoulder is 12 cm. 12 cm. So what I have here now is 12 cm on half scale is 6 cm. So what I have here now is 8.2. so that means I have 2.2 cm extra. I can still reduce it. If I feel that the dart width is too much, I can still reduce it to half cm here, but for now let me just leave it like that. So I'm sure you understand what I mean. So here now you have to like draw a diagonal line here from this point. So you come out by 3 centimeters from this angle, 3 centimeters. So for my half scale, I'm coming out by 1.5 cm. So I'll now connect, but around this bust, this back line area, you have to like make sure that that area is straight, a little bit straight. So what I'm doing is I'm connecting this point, this line, this dot here, and this place together to give me a smooth armhole. So I can do it one step at a time. So let me connect these ones first. Okay, so so I am trying to make sure that I connect everything together. Okay, so that's the armhole right there. So the next thing I will do, we're almost through with the back is so easy. So the next thing I'm going to do now on my hip, this is waistline and the hip line. So on this hip line I will mark out my quarter hip plus 1 cm, 2 cm for ease or whatever you want, but I don't like too much ease on my clothes, so I'm going to use my quarter hip with that ease. Just make sure that when you're measuring yourself or your clients, you don't make it too tight, you know, that alone will give you the ease that you require. So my quarter hip is 11.75. 11.75. So this 11.75 here, I'm going to connect it back to my armhole point. This point here is called UP. So I've connected from my hip line to my UP. So the last thing for this back is what I want to do now. So from this line here on the waistline, you go in by 2 centimeters. Is constant for everybody. 2 centimeters. All right, 2 centimeters, and you connect it back to the UP, as you can see. Okay, then you leave it like this for now. Let's stop here for today, because I don't want the video to be too long and confusing. So I'm going to we're going to do the front side on another video. So now I'll be drafting the front bodice block. We are through with the back. So from this top line at the back, everything started from point O. Now from the front, everything will start from this top line. This top line now represents point O for the front. So from this top line, you come down by 4.5 cm for the shoulder line and 7.5 cm for the neck width or neckline or whatever you call it. Remember, the back shoulder line was 3 centimeter, which is constant for everybody, but for the front it's not constant. The shoulder is 4.5 cm, but in larger sizes, for size 1 to size 4 is 4.5 cm, but from size 5 and above it is 4 cm. Then for the neckline, it is 7.5 cm for size 1 to size 4, but from size 5 to above, it is 8 to 8.5 cm. So depending on how big you are or your clients, you know what to use. So let's continue. So for this shoulder here, you have to come in by 16.5. It's a constant for everybody. 16.5. Remember, when I say constant, it means that it's for every size. So you come in by 16.5. So I mark it down. By the time you mark it down, then for your neck width, remember I'll use 6.5 for the front, so we'll still use the 6.5 for the back. So that's what I want to indicate now. Alright, so you square it down. You know what I mean by squaring now? Like whatever you do, you repeat it. So you square it down. Okay, so that's for the neckline. So for this shoulder line here, from this neck width here, you draw a line from this place here. This place now is now you're called your NP, your neck point. From your neck point now, you have to connect this point on the shoulder line, this 16.5 cm, to your neck point, but make it longer. So watch what I do. Okay, you can make it as long as you want. So we're going to use that line to draft our shoulder line. So now let's continue. Now the next thing we want to do now is your chest measurements. For example, if your chest measurement is 20, that 20, you say 20 divided by 4, quarter of it is what we would use for our nipple to nipple measurement. But in case your client is available, you can actually measure their normal nipple to nipple measurement. So in my own case, I normally use 7. So that's 7 now. If you have your nipple to nipple measurement, you know it's if it's 7 now, you divide it by 2. But if you don't have your nipple to nipple measurement, you can use your chest measurement divided by 4. But I'm using my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 7. That's 7. I'll say 7 divided by 2. Okay, so that's what I am indicating now on this line, which should now serve as the nipple to nipple measurements. Or for me, my chest measurement is 17. Quarter of 17 is 4.25. So it's either you use your quarter chest or you use your half of your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. So I'm using quarter of my chest measurement. Okay, since that's the one that is handy, anyone you like can use it. But if you have your measurement intact, I believe that your nipple to nipple measurement will be more accurate than your chest measurement, because these are just you know. So I've noted that one down. So this line now will now represent my nipple to nipple measurement. So the next thing I want to do now is this bust line right here, which is not your real bust line. This bust line is the same thing as armhole line. Your real bust line is called your true bust line. So this line here is your bust line or your armhole line. So from this bust line here, you have to go down by 2 centimeters on this line. So 2 centimeters here. So okay, let me extend this line here, this nipple to nipple measurement line, to the top line. All right, you have to do that. So from this nipple to nipple measurement line, you have to like go to the left by 2 cm. Because I'm doing half scale, I'm going by 1 cm. Okay, so you now you go by 2 cm. So from that point you connect it. Remember, on this bust line we came down by 2 cm and we noted it down. So on this nipple to nipple line here, on the shoulder line, you go to the left side by 2 cm. So you connect that point, the 2 points together. Okay, this is what I just did now. I've connected the points together. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to impute our shoulder dart. Our shoulder dart is what we want to do next now. So the measurement is here on this table of average measurements and proportion. So for the measurement, I'm using a bust of 84. So I'm going to look for dart. So I'll be using a dart of 6.5 cm. All right, 6.5 cm. So that's the dart value that I'll be using. So 6.5 cm. I'm going to impute the 6.5 cm from this point here on the shoulder towards the left hand side. So which is 6.5 cm. 3, 2, because I'm doing half scale. So that point now you connect it back to these 2 centimeters on this nipple to nipple line. Okay, so from here now to here now gives you your dart value. So this is our dart. So the next thing you want to do now is for you to add your shoulder measurement plus this dart value. That's what you place on this line, which will now be your shoulder measurement. So 6.5 cm, which is my dart value, plus my shoulder is 12. So you add it together. So you start from your neck point and now add it up. All right, so you add it up. Now this is my shoulder value. Now we are through with that side for now. So the next thing we want to do now is to indicate our chest level. Our chest level according to this book, it says that it's 4 centimeters above your bust line. So we are going to go up 4 centimeters, but I'm doing half scale, so I'm going up by 2 cm. So you go up by 4 centimeters. That is a constant for everybody, the same thing for everyone. All right, so the next thing we want to do now is to impute our chest measurement. The measurement you took for your chest, that's what we want to impute now. So my chest measurement is 17. Half of it is 8.5. So 8.5, you measure your 8.5 here, 8.5 here. You know, some entered into this dart line, so you measure whatever is there on the dart level, you get, because when you close that dart, your chest will be short, so you have to add it. So yeah, I have 8, so I'll come back here and add up the 8 to balance it up. Okay, to balance it up. So from this point now, I'll connect it back to my shoulder point. I will now draw a perpendicular line from that point down to my bust line, as you can see. All right, you draw a perpendicular line straight, and whatever you have here is what you have here. So the next thing I want to do now is to draw up an angle of 45 degrees. Then I'll go up by 1.5 cm, but for half scale I'm going up by 0.75. so you go up by 1.5 cm. So the next thing now, which is a little mathematics I want to do, is your half for example your half bust measurement. My half bust measurement is 21.6. So whatever you have here now on this bust line at the back here, now I have a total of 11.7. okay, so you minus it, 11.7, you have to minus 21.6 minus 11.7, which is 9. No, that is a mistake. Okay, it's going to be half bust plus 5 cm, half bust plus 5 cm minus the value you have on this line, which is 11.7. so whatever you have is what you impute for the front. Half, which is 21 going to be 21, yeah, 21.6 plus 5 cm minus, okay, let me do it this way because I want it to be in a way that you always remember. Now half bust plus 5 cm, remember the backup I used was 5 cm, so if your own backup is 6 cm, you say half bust plus 6 cm. So in my own case, it's half bust plus 5 cm minus the value you have on this bust line at the back. So let's start all over. Half bust is 21.6, all right, plus 5 cm minus 11.7 is 14.9. I'm sure you get the mass, 14.9. so that's what you impute here, 14.9. In case you missed that, let me start all over. Your bust divided by 2 plus your backup. Your backup can be 5. For my own is 5. For yours it can be 6. So half bust plus your backup, all right, whatever you get, minus it, minus the value of your bust line at the back, that your armhole line, minus it. This line, I don't know if you're seeing it, this line here, minus it, okay, minus it from the answer. Then whatever you get as the balance is what you put on the front bust line. Okay, let's continue. So what you do next is you measure from this shoulder point here to this chest length here. Whatever you get, you divide the line by 2. This is 7.2. So to divide it by 2, 7.2 divided by 2 is 3.6. all right, 3.6. so 3.6. so I'll go in by 1 cm. 1 cm can be 1 cm plus, that's 1.5 cm. That's what the book says. So but nothing like 1 2 or 3 is most people use 1 cm in short, so don't use more than 1 cm, just use 1 cm. So because I'm doing half scale, I'm going in by 0.5 cm. So now I'll now take in my curve ruler and connect. So remember, this angle here is 1.5 cm, so there is a point here, there is this point here. So now we are connecting all the points together. All right, so we are connecting these points together to form our armhole, correct? Yeah. So I'm trying to, because it's really small, so I'm trying to like get all the, okay, so here we have it. I've been able to like draw in the curve. Let me clean up this right up so that it will not cover what we are doing. I want you to see what I'm doing here. So let me write it here, boss line instead. So this is a curve that I have drawn now. So the next thing we are going to do now is to impute our quarter hip measurement. Our quarter hip measurement is 11.75. So 11.75, yeah. Okay, so the same thing we did for the back, we have to connect it to the front UP. Okay, front UP. So this is the hip line, this is the waistline. Okay, so what next to do now is for us to draw. Okay, on this waistline you have to come down by 1 cm, 1 cm for small sizes, and 1 cm for small sizes. So I'm coming down by 1 cm here. I'm coming down by 1 cm. So at the side I will 1 cm for like small sizes, but average sizes you can come down by 1.5 to 2 cm. Then at the side here I'm coming down by quarter cm, which for larger sizes at the side is 1 cm, then the center front is 2 cm. But for small sizes the center front is 1 cm and the side is quarter cm. So here now, because I'm working with half scale, I'm coming down by 0.5 cm. So here now will be 0.25. okay, so the same thing you do to the two sides, the same thing, 0.25. so here we'll start from nothing. So here now you connect from nothing here. Then let's continue from the front. The back we did 2 cm shaping, the front will be 1.5 cm shaping. All right, then from here now you now connect it back to the UP, the front UP. So now you have connected it back. Here you're coming down by 0.5 cm at the side and 1 cm at the center front for small sizes. So from there you connect it to the center front like this. Okay, you connect it to the center front like this, then you connect it to the hip line from that point. You connect it to the hip line from that point. Then the same thing here, you connect to the hip line from this point. So I'm looking, is there anything I missed? Because I'm going to do the shaping in another video. in order not to like make it too complex and everything. Okay, I've not drawn the neckline for the front. For the front, you have to draw in the neckline. Okay, though this is really small, but I'll try to draw the neckline here. Okay, so this is the neckline for the front. So in my next video, I'll be showing you how to like create the darts for the back shoulder and the shaping of this pattern, because we cannot leave this pattern like this now. It doesn't have any form of shaping. So in the next video, I will show you how to like place darts on this pattern. So thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.